tonight. I've been checking with what people want in our community, and it is all about growth. So we did a survey recently, and the number one thing that people are interested in is the specifics on how to grow a business. I often talk about teams, purpose, vision, values and alignment, but tonight we're going to be really practical. Where do I spend my marketing dollars to get the greatest return? And is Facebook and social media the way forward? But I am not going to rely on my own expertise. Absolutely. In fact, welcome Ben. Ben Simkin is joining us.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. So yes, I've kind of found an expert, somebody who can tell us how to spend those dollars to get ultimately a return. But Ben, first of all, a little bit about you. Why are you the expert in Facebook? Why have I dragged you in here tonight?
It's a good question. And the biggest thing is, I jumped on Facebook ads the minute they were launched back in 2009. And operating with very large budgets with big companies, we were able to test whatever we wanted to test out, figure out the system, and eventually figure out there was a proven way, step-by-step thing you could do that you would get results no matter what industry or business you went into. If you followed the process, you'd always get the same, good outcome. So just being on it for almost 10 years now would qualify anyone as an expert, but just being on it every day for that long, and then having large budgets to test and at my disposal.
So, have you done your 10,000 hours? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so,
we've done probably more than that. Yeah.
Mastery apparently is 10,000 hours. Look, I've wasted a lot of money where I've had a little project and I've thought, oh, this is great. I'll spend a bit of money, and it hasn't really gone my way. But before we get to my questions, we have got some questions on our page. So Tracy has asked a question. She says, I do have a question. Do you recommend Facebook over other social media? Now, I know you're an expert in Facebook, but why Facebook? Is it Facebook for certain age groups, target markets? Is it for younger? What about Instagram, Snapchat? Tell us why Facebook.
It's a good question, and a lot of people still come to me now and ask me, will this work for my industry? Will this work for my product? And the answer is 99% of the time, the answer is yes, it will work. We've worked with targeting CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies, all the way to younger demographics, and everywhere in between. We've done so many different things, recipe books, even sold properties and stock investments and everything that you could even think of, and it's worked. And the reason is because almost everyone's on Facebook these days. Like, the people on Facebook are not different people that are listening to the radio on the way to work, or the people watching TV at night. People are people, and most people are on Facebook these days, whether you're 13, 25, or a CEO of a $100 million company.
So, is it also to do with that you can really target though? So, my product would not suit a 13-year-old, but would absolutely suit somebody who's 30. And is that what makes it powerful?
Absolutely. I mean, the power of the targeting that you have through Facebook, and I'll get to it in a minute, but there's a new technology that's just come out through Facebook to make it even more powerful. But, we recently worked with a kitchen company, and we were able to think about, well, who's more likely to want to get a renovation of a kitchen? And so we figured out that it was people who had recently moved into a new home. We were able to target people on Facebook based on that event, life event. Like, the power of it, you can target anything in terms of their demographics, psychographics, and even things that they're doing and buying. And, if you want to target people who've recently bought a car, because a lot of people don't know that there are 300 data sources of offline data from the properties you own or rent, or things you buy through the FPOS machines, is all linked to your Facebook profile. So you can target anything, and the question is really, who's more likely to buy my product or service? And that's really how you start.
So first of all, everybody's hanging out on Facebook, and now you can target it based on previous behaviours.
Yeah.
So if I look at, what about my business-to-business product rather than a consumer product? I've got the ready.com business, and I want lots of small businesses to come and use that platform. How would I be able to predict who would be the certain sort of person, and then use Facebook for that?
Yeah, great question. There's a few ways to do it, but one really powerful way to do it is to upload your existing clientele into Facebook. You can upload your database of people who are already buying from you, because, let's face it, they're the people that are more likely to buy from you because they already are buying from you. But then you can tell Facebook to find more people like those people. So then it goes and searches for people who are like your ideal clients. And
would that know the difference between a work email address and a personal profile?
Absolutely, it's profiling the person. So Facebook holds 1 million data points about each person on Facebook. So it knows it knows who you hang out with, who your friends are, what cafes, restaurants you go to, you name it. It knows everything, and it uses that so that you can get in front of the right people. I mean, you can't do that on TV or radio. It's just hit and miss, really, isn't it?
Except for Shark Tank, which is returning soon to TED shortly.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. So anyway, Jason's got a question. He runs a labour hire business, so maybe this is similar to my question. He runs a labour hire business in Sydney, and he's finding that continually difficult to source quality candidates, particularly in blue-collar positions. Can you give me some ideas on how Facebook can be used to create a flow of quality candidates? I need to get some product on the shelves.
Absolutely, this is a great question, really good question. I just completed a Facebook campaign where we hired 4 new salespeople into our organisation by using a Facebook ad. So rather than using traditionally other ways to do it, we put up a Facebook ad. We spent $260 and we got 26 applicants, and 4 of which have now joined our company, and they're very high quality candidates. So Facebook's a great way to recruit more staff, more candidates. And
that's the same for blue collar, because it's across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've got to think about from their point of view, why would they, if they've already got a job, why would they, come over to you? And you've got to think about, what can I portray to these people to entice them to come on board? And for us, it was all about having a fun and supportive environment, having personal development programs to make it sound like a great place to work, and think about what kinds of messages you want to put out there to those people.
So that's the quality of the creative.
Absolutely.
So of course with Facebook you can test your creative too.
Yeah.
So you can run it at the same time and see which one's getting the most traction.
Yeah, absolutely. You can test different variations of what you've got, and Facebook will even tell you which one's working better than the other one as well. So it's not a matter of guessing. Facebook will tell you what to do.
So Kerry's got a question, and she's a small business and she's been in business for 6 months, but she's been told that unless she's spending between $3,000 and $4,000, she's not going to get a return on Facebook. And her question is, what about small amounts like $50 or $100? Does it make any difference? And what should she do, because her spend isn't big? She's a startup.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good question. And when we run millions of dollars worth of ads through Facebook, and it's a luxury that not a lot of people have. But whenever we start marketing on Facebook, we don't start very high. We start at $50 a day or $30 a day, and we want to really test it out. And if we can turn, $30 into $100 in sales, then we know we're onto a winner, and then we can ramp it up from there up to whatever level we want to ramp it up to. So you can start at $30 a day, for example, and see if you can get the profit back. And if you know that you can turn 1 into 10, then you can go with whatever budget you're comfortable with. So you don't need $4,000 to start off with, because we don't even start there with our campaigns.
Yeah, but you say that, but $30 can disappear. You've got no sales. You actually don't learn anything. And I've seen this happen. Where literally people are just spending money and they're going, I don't even know what I got.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So if you don't know what you're doing, how are you going to find out what to do? Because literally you might get no sales with $30 or $50, and then you actually haven't learned anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely need someone to guide you in the process, because there's certain things you look at. The data, you've got to know what Facebook's telling you in terms of the numbers, and then adjust your approach accordingly. So if you know how to read the dashboard, you can make the changes to improve it. Yeah.
Well, I suppose people need some more insight, but we'll get to that later.
Sure.
But let's speak. James has got a question. How do you turn your social interactions, your likes, your comments, your shares, like the engagement, how do you turn that into sales?
Yeah. So obviously, depending on whether it's a product or a service, or if you want to get them on the phone, you've got to give them a call to action or an offer. So if you have, getting some social interaction, you need to invite them to take a specific action, whether it's try my product out, free trial, or get on the phone with me, or come into the store. You've got to know what the objective is that you want, and then ask them to do it. So that's really, the thing you've got to do.
Okay. So you've got to call them to action, which is good old-fashioned marketing. You've got to ask them what you want. But also, Facebook doesn't serve our content the way it used to. You know, I might have 100,000 followers on my page, but it doesn't mean they get to see it. So now what do I do?
Yeah, in terms of the content, you definitely need to keep posting new content, you know, at least 3 to 5 times a week minimum. We actually tested out whether or not posting content was going to help sales or not between 2 different organizations. We did a small test. We didn't post any content for company A. On company B, we posted really good quality content. The sales was something like 300% higher.
Okay, so
you definitely need to do it.
So content is valuable. But I get overwhelmed too. There seems to be content everywhere. So I suppose that's back to basics. What do people want to hear? Which is probably why we just did a survey to find out what our members want to hear. Okay, thank you everybody for filling that in. That was really great. So how often should you be posting? You're saying at least 3 times a week.
Around 3 to 5 times a week.
And James has got some more questions here. Best ways to grow your following, because not all following is equal. You know, you want people to follow you who are really interested in you.
Yeah, exactly. You only want people that are more likely to buy your product or service. You don't want to just put random people. You don't want to invite your cousins and your friends' kids, because that's not going to help you long term. You want to think about who I want to follow me and get them through paid advertising.
Yeah. So isn't it true to say it's quality over quantity?
Absolutely.
And it's engagement over something else? Yeah,
exactly. It's definitely, you know, quality over quantity and engagement versus just putting out a lot of content and stuff that's not going to matter. We've had fan pages who've had a few hundred likes or a few thousand likes make hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. It's not a matter of how many fans you have. It's like you said, it's who's following you.
Yeah, so growing your following, how do you grow your following?
So the best way to grow your following is through paid advertising. Yeah.
Okay, great. Paid advertising to remarket or profile people based on who has been purchasing before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how do you measure success with paid marketing? What is success? Is it just about return on investment?
It is. It is absolutely return on investment. What is the money you're putting into it? What is the money coming out? And working out what your cost per sale is. So if you know that it's costing you $50 to acquire a customer, you need to make sure you're going to make that money back in the short term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When because I've been in business for so long, I was right there at the very beginning when AdWords was launched.
Yeah.
And it used to cost me 5 cents to acquire a customer. It does not cost me 5 cents anymore. So how do you manage that kind of budget creep? You know, because you're still making sales, but it's getting more and more expensive. What do you do about that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, obviously, keeping an eye on the numbers every day. You can't just create a Facebook ad and then just go away on holiday or go back to your duties. You need to have yourself or someone in the company or somebody else who's looking at it on a daily basis to make sure there's no creep on cost. And obviously, the other side of the coin is make sure you keep improving how you increase your profit by getting more people to come back more often.
So Ben, let's put ourselves in the shoes of our customers. They're sitting here, they've got their businesses, they're really, really busy, and you're saying, oh, you just need to do this, you just need to do that. From my perspective, actually, that sounds really hard. So is it like a hobby? I need to be an expert in this. You know, years ago I did this small business campaign. It was like, we have to be an expert in everything. We have to be an expert in accounts, we have to be an expert in Facebook, and but really, anyway, answer that shortly. We're going to get to a few more questions, then we're going to finish up. Craig, can you address the issue with being present on Facebook without a robust Facebook marketing and service strategy? In other words, I've got my page, I'm talking to people, but I'm not promoting it. I'm not spending money. I'm not putting money behind it.
Yeah, I mean, to get really big results, you need to put money behind it. But like I said before, you don't need to start very big. You can start small, slowly scale it up.
You know what I can hear? We've got to do a step-by-step guide. I'm serious. You make it sound really easy, but really, I have a theory which is do, analyse, do. And I think actually we've got to put something together that's literally like a checklist, do, analyse, do, to help people to go through it. So anyway, let's go to I can just imagine you sitting out there, oh, you guys make it sound so easy. And anyway, we'll get to that. So Alison has got a question. Just when momentum is happening, the balance is affected by Facebook algorithms that change. How do we keep ahead of this? And it's so true you set some creative for one day that's really working, and the next day you come back and it's not doing anything. So why is this so, Ben? Font of all knowledge.
Well, it's actually a good thing that the algorithm changes, because Facebook's the only media company on the planet that's actually looking after their advertisers. They're investing so much money into improving results for their advertisers by using artificial intelligence, working out how it can help you get better customers and all these kinds of things. So if there's a change, it's going to be because Facebook are trying to make it better for you. And if you subscribe to their emails or look at their Facebook, at their support section, for example, you'll see the updates that are coming out, and you can see, well, I can see what they're trying to do, and really adapt to that, because it's actually they're trying to help you. They're not trying to harm you.
So what he's saying is we need to embrace the change.
You do.
And it's all in our benefit. It's very, very important that we embrace the change. And this is the point. No marketing is set and forget. And it doesn't matter what it is, but we do need to really keep an eye on it. So look, we've had a few questions. Please feel free to write some more questions in the comments section below. But we are going to finish up now. I'm really happy for you to keep going on this. We're also going to write a blog on this, and you can have some more. I'm being distracted because there's one more question that's stuck right in, and she said, please answer my question. Which is, Christy has asked, what do you recommend for a new startup business wanting to build consistency and flow? We've got one last question snuck in. Good on you, Christy. But what do you recommend? So I have this problem with all my Shark Tank companies. So it doesn't matter whether it's Veggiepod or Sonsi, and they're spending really, they want to spend their money, but they haven't got much.
Okay, yeah.
So what do we do?
Yeah, if you don't have a lot to work with initially, you do want to build an email list. Going back to the basics. Email lists, people say that's a thing of the past, but really it's a big thing where if you can drive people to join your email list, it's a very cost-effective way to do it. On Facebook, you can get emails, leads for cents on the dollar or even $1 each, and really build a list. And then you can keep emailing them like once a month or a few times a month with new offers and new things. It's a great way to do it if you don't have a very big budget.
Yeah, one of the pictures that came on set, I think it was in the first series, and they had a product that they were taking to market, like literally to markets, and they had their product there, and one of the recommendations I had was that they had an iPad there, and for anybody who really loved the product, that literally they just put their email address and their mobile phone number and their first name, and then they could shift them into here's a special offer, here's our new product, or also put them on to a subscription. It was a food-based product. So if you think about what are the back to basics of marketing, and one of the things that, especially in the early days of startup, Christy, is make sure you eyeball your customers. Make sure you feel what it is that they love about your product. And if you're physically there and say, may I have permission to send you an email from time to time, they'll feel a part of your community. They'll get really engaged, and they'll feel that they're part of your success story. I know there's a man out there by the name of Damien Chown who knows he was my first customer, because occasionally he contacts me and he's got some fundraiser, and I'm always happy to give him a voucher for his charity work. But you see, we never forget our first customer. So even if we live in the online world, literally going and meeting who they are might give you the insights you need of how you can replicate that. So look, we are going to finish up. A fast game's a good game, but we do have something very special for you. Ben is a font of knowledge, more than 10,000 hours and 10 years working in Facebook marketing. And I've said, come on, give something very special to my community. So if you go to naomisimson.com/offer, Ben has written something very special for us. Do you want to talk a little bit about it? You didn't write it.
Yeah, so this content has been collaborated by a few people.
Yeah, but you highly recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if you're starting out in Facebook ads, you can't just go there and just throw money at it. You need some sort of guidance. I mean, when I first started out with Facebook ads, there was nobody teaching it. There was no help section. I was just thrown in the deep end and I had to figure it out. I wasted a lot of money doing that, but I served that as my education. You've got to pay for education somehow. I did it by a lot of trial and error, but you don't have to, because there are people out there who are doing guides, and this is exactly what this is. We have a guide available. I think they're going to post a link underneath the video. So definitely check it out, because if you're serious about growing your business, you need to be on Facebook 101, like 100%. I couldn't recommend it enough, because Facebook is going to drive your business for the very short and long term. So definitely check out this guide. I think it's going to help you if you haven't done Facebook ads before, or you've done a little bit and you haven't really had much traction yet. Definitely check this out.
He's telling you we have to do the work. Don't tell me there's no easy ads. That is the thing about business. It's never set and forget. And one of the reasons why we invite people to join.naomisimson.com is it's all about shared experience and shared education. I'm not an expert in everything. As you know, I recommend books, I recommend people, I find a brain's trust, and it's about sharing information. So this is a book that Ben's absolutely recommended. I think it sounds like a worthwhile investment, rather than spending $50 on Facebook ads and wondering why you're getting no traction. Invest the time and maybe buy the book below. So the resources that you are going to need to help you: identify your niche. Here's the checklist: identify your niche, find the product, create the buyer persona. It's as if you're talking to them. You know what they look like. Create a brand. That's the way people feel about you. What is your brand essence? Design your ads, test them, and target them by advanced targeting, which is one of the features that you'll find in Facebook. So, just to recap, in fact, why don't we write a blog on this so that we can put it on our blog, so that we can reinforce what we've learned? Identify your niche, find the product, create the buyer persona, and I cannot speak more highly of that. Like literally, when I write a book like Ready to Soar, I know what the person looks like, and I'm actually speaking to them. Create a brand, which is the feeling. Design your ads, test them, and keep targeting it and using the advanced skills. But we'll write a blog a little bit more. Do share this with your friends. It's not you want more people to come into our community to share their ideas. Thank you so much for joining us. But as we said, the link's in the comments below, naomisimson.com/offer, and you get more resources on how to make Facebook really work to drive the growth of your business. If this has been worthwhile, let me know, and we will have, and what else you want to learn, and we will come up with some more brains trust or experts in particular areas. But Ben, thanks for coming to RedBalloon tonight.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, we had fun. It's really fun. I also found out he has a world famous dog. He's got 40,000 followers on Facebook. If he can get his dog to have 40,000 followers, maybe. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us tonight. We had a great deal of fun, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you.